And joining me now in the studio are Sami Hamdi, who is the editor-in-chief of the International Interest magazine, and Mehmet Ogutcu, who is a former Turkish diplomat who has worked in the Kurdish regions of northern Iraq. Thank you both for joining me today. Sami, I want to start with you. Protesters storming a Turkish base in Iraq, like they did last week, is a rare event. But can you explain how local Kurds feel about Turkey's presence and their fight against the PKK terror group?
I think it's a complicated dynamic. I think first and foremost, we have to remember that there are three major forces in Iraq today, which are the Americans, the Iranians, who have over 62 militias there, and we have the Turks. Right now, there is a law that is trying to be pushed past in Iraq to kick out all foreign forces. The target, of course, is the Iranian and US forces. However, the Iraqi government is struggling to tell the US to leave and struggling to tell the Iranians to leave. So it thinks Turkey is the easy target. If we're talking about the Kurdish region in particular, I think the Kurds have some sympathy towards Turkey's cause that Turkey is trying to protect its domestic security. Turkey is trying to fend off an organization that is set on plunging Turkey into a civil war and trying to secede from Turkey and create a state, and is doing so by means that are quite frankly not acceptable, killing Turkish citizens, Turkish soldiers, Turkish civilians, and the like. I think with regards to the storming, this is taking place after Donald Trump announced he's withdrawing from Syria. The PKK are panicking because now they realize, and the YPG, because they have no powerful ally to back them after the US leave. Nobody is giving them assurances that they will be looked after. Turkey is threatening to invade those areas, to go in after the PKK, to go in after the YPG in order to secure its domestic security. There's a lot of sympathy towards it, towards what Turkey is doing in the Kurdistan. And also Masoud Barzani, the head of the KRG region, enjoys a very warm relationship with Turkey. Turkey has done much in that region in terms of development, in terms of trying to promote ties and the like.
Okay, I want to interrupt real quick because I want to get to my other guest, Mehmet Ogutcu. I know Turkey and the Kurdish regional governments were quick to point the blame for the base attack on the PKK. Can you talk to us about what position the PKK holds in Iraq and what type of threat does it pose to Turkey from there?
Well, PKK doesn't represent a threat only to Turkey. It also represents a serious threat to Kurdish leadership in northern Iraq. And Barzani family and the current government in Erbil feels that PKK is acting against their interests because Turkey provides a lifeline to KRG. As Sami mentioned, Turkey built the infrastructure there. Turkish SMEs are everywhere. And Turkey also provides the only outlet of Kurdish oil through its borders to Ceyhan for shipment to the international markets. So Erbil has every interest to work closely with Turkey. The relationship has been somehow tempered because of the Kurdish independence referendum, which Turkey adamantly opposed, but they went ahead. But since then, I think things are changing again, and Nechirvan Barzani wants to come to Ankara. And so there is a difference between PKK and KRG. And also, I think the worry becomes more heightened on the PKK side because there is a threat for Turkey to attack east of Euphrates in Syria. And then KRG on this side, PKK and PYD might be somehow skewed. Therefore, this recent incident in the Turkish base, protest or whatever you call it, is a direct reflection of this worry on the PKK side, trying to highlight that Turkish military presence in the region is a threat. I think Nechirvan Barzani made it very clear. He said, we don't want PKK and Turkish bases in Turkey, but Turkish bases are protecting us. They haven't done anything against us. So it is the PKK instigating and provoking this.
I want to get back to Sami.
Yes.
Sorry for cutting you off, but the KRG and Iraq's federal government actually took different positions regarding this attack. Can you explain the reasons behind the differences?
Masoud Barzani is caught in a catch-22. He wants to keep good relations with Ankara, but he doesn't want to be seen as complicit in the killing of Kurds. The reason why this is how the way it's seen is because despite the fact that there is this acceptance that Turkey's domestic security is genuinely under threat, Turkey has struggled to deliver a message that shows some sort of empathy towards the idea that the Kurdish might have some sympathies towards their brothers. They may see them as bad eggs in the family, they may see them as terrorists and the like, but at the end, these are still Kurds. Masoud Barzani doesn't want to be seen as complicit in the killing of Kurds. He wants to be seen complicit in attacking a terrorist group. He doesn't want to be seen complicit in bringing a foreign force to come into their land to kill Kurdish people, but he also doesn't want to be seen as complicit in backing a terrorist group. Masoud Barzani is struggling to toe this very fine line. How do I keep a good relation with Ankara and accept that it has a domestic threat, an international threat to its security via the PKK? And how do I keep these Kurds who are genuinely upset by the messaging that is coming out from Ankara? I emphasize the messaging here because not the act, because Turkey has done much in terms of helping in improving the situation of the Kurds. The messaging of we will bury you in the ground and that's hard for them to receive. This is why I think out of the three forces in Iraq, Turkey, US and Iran, Turkey has the poorest PR and that's why it's paying the heaviest price. You think about this law now that is being put in the Iraqi parliament to turf out foreign forces. Turkey is nowhere near involved as the way the Iranians are or the US are. Turkey doesn't demand that a certain member of parliament becomes the interior minister the way Iran does, in the way that it's pushing Falah al-Fayyad. Turkey doesn't insist like the US does, where Pompeo comes to Adel Abdel Mahdi, the prime minister, and says to him, you have to remove the weapons from the militias. Turkey takes a step out. But because of this poor messaging that comes out, Turkey is the one that is put up in the spotlight as the force that needs to be pushed out of Iraq. And this is an issue that could genuinely become very serious for Turkey if it doesn't look into it.
Okay, Turkey definitely needs a better PR campaign. Mehmet, Turkey has actually has several bases in Iraq, some dating back to the 90s. Can you talk to us about what role they play in helping Turkey's security?
Well, Turkey has altogether 11 bases in northern Iraq, dating back to late 90s and early 2000. And all of them have been either intelligence gathering operations or sometimes military training for Peshmergas as well. And so far they have, I think, fulfilled their missions quite peacefully. And the main reason why Turkey has these bases in Iraq is nothing to do with territorial integrity, sovereignty of Iraq. Simply because Iraqi army or Peshmerga are not able to control PKK attacks originating from this territory towards Turkey. We have a very long border, starting from the Iranian border to the Syrian border, then all the way, 950-kilometer long border. So we have great difficulty in protecting this border, although there is electronic surveillance, walls built now. And so the intention is to preempt PKK attacks on the Iraqi and now also on the Syrian territory. So it has served the purposes and it has received full cooperation from KRG in many regards. Also, Baghdad is making a lot of noises, but in reality, behind the closed doors, I think there is a very good cooperation between the Turkish and Iraqi military and political leaders. So for us, I think the key issue is border security, nothing else. Because if you look also, I will perhaps broaden the subject a little bit in here, Turkey has military bases in so many countries outside Turkey. We have in Qatar 3,000 soldiers, in Sudan, in also Somalia. We have in Bosnia for NATO forces or United Nations peacekeeping operations. So Turkish military is the 8th largest in the world. So it's projecting its power for peaceful reasons. But immediate region of Turkey, which is Iraq, where there is a very strong and imminent threat. And this threat has been seriously attacked and reduced. And this is the reason why PKK and its allies are drumming up more and more against Turkish bases because it's an easy target, as you say.
All right, another complicated relationship. Sami Hamdi and Mehmet Ogutcu, thank you both for coming in today.
Thank you.